Okay, try and picture this. It's early morning in Franschhoek, South Africa. You've got vineyards, fog down in the valleys, birds starting to sing. And on this beautiful terrace, there's this billionaire mentor, Stone Riley. And he's watching this newlywed couple, an entrepreneur and an artist, just radiating happiness.
Yeah. And that moment, that observation sparked something. It led to this incredible mentoring session he had with them. Our deep dive today comes from notes on that session, specifically a lesson shared, believe it or not, during a 5 a.m. mountain bike ride.
A 5 a.m. mountain bike ride.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. And the lesson was fundamental. It's all about how you balance that really intense high-level performance with deep self-renewal, how to have both sustained success and a genuinely rich life.
right, because the default, the sort of cultural script is just work harder, push more, right? Grind it out.
Exactly. It often leads straight to burnout.
So our mission here, for you listening, is to really understand this different model. Riley talked about the twin cycles of elite performance. We want to help you see how moving beyond that unsustainable work harder thing can lead to, well, lasting achievement and real fulfillment.
That's the goal.
So these twin cycles, let's dig into that. What exactly are they?
Okay, so at its core, it's about two alternating rhythms. You've got your high excellence cycles, HECs, he called them, and your deep refueling cycles, or DRCs.
HEC and DRC, got it.
Your HECs are those periods of like peak performance, intense focus, deep work, high output. You're really in the zone, pushing your limits on your most important stuff.
Okay, that part feels familiar. That's the work part, the pushing part. But the next bit, that feels different.
It really does, because then you have the deep refueling cycles. And these aren't just, collapsing on the couch. They're intentional periods for recovery, for rejuvenation. And this is key for actively seeking out enjoyment, play, even.
Okay, enjoyment and play as part of the cycle.
Yes. And here's the really counterintuitive piece. Raleigh argues that genuine growth, the kind that builds true mastery over time, actually happens during these DRCs, during the rest and the fun.
Wait, growth happens during rest.
Yeah.
That completely flips the usual narrative, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We're sort of taught that if you're not actively doing something productive, you're wasting time.
Precisely. And that's the trap of thinking purely linearly, just work, work, work harder. Riley says that's just not sustainable. It leads to burnout, yeah, but also exhaustion, loss of creativity, loss of inspiration.
You basically drain the tank.
You drain the very resources you need. Think about it in terms of depleting your core human assets. Your mental focus, your physical energy, your willpower, your unique talents, even how well you use your time. Continuous output without input just depletes them.
Okay, so you push hard in the HEC, then you actively recover in the DRC. How does that recovery actually lead to growth, though? Not just getting back to baseline, but actually improving.
Right. Good question. This is where he brings in the idea of supercompensation. Think about weightlifting. You stress the muscle, create tiny tears, then you rest. And it's during that rest that the muscle doesn't just repair, it rebuilds stronger than before. That's supercompensation.
Ah, okay. I see the analogy.
So Riley applies the same idea to what he calls your 5 assets of genius.
The 5 assets. Remind me quickly what those were again.
Sure. It's your mental focus, physical energy, personal willpower, your original talent, like your unique skills, and your daily time using your hours effectively.
Focus, energy, willpower, talent, time. Got it.
And he really stressed that these assets are usually at their absolute peak first thing in the morning. So the idea is you intentionally push these assets during your intense work cycles, your HECs.
Using those prime morning hours.
Exactly, not wasting them on, scrolling or reacting to emails, using them for deep work. And then by deliberately stepping back for these deep refueling cycles, you allow that super compensation to happen. You actually grow those 5 assets.
So the pressure phase creates the potential, but the recovery phase actualizes the growth. It's not just downtime, it's growth time.
Perfectly put. It's active recovery that strengthens you. And he even boiled this down into a kind of formula, a legendary performance equation.
An equation? Okay, I'm intrigued.
It was. Pressure, X refueling, growth plus endurance.
Pressure times refueling equals growth plus endurance.
Yeah.
So break that down. Pressure, that's the HEC, the pushing, the challenge, stepping outside the comfort zone.
Right. That stress, that constructive pressure is necessary. You don't grow if you stay comfortable. It stretches your talents.
And refueling, that's the DRC, the active rest, the recovery, the fun.
Yes. And notice it's multiplication, not addition. Pressure times refueling. Meaning if your refueling is 0, if you don't recover.
Then pressure times 0 is 0. No growth, no endurance.
Exactly. No sustained growth, no long-term endurance. The refueling isn't optional. It's what makes the pressure productive and sustainable. Without it, pressure just leads to breakdown.
That's powerful. It really reframes rest. He also used an analogy, something about farming.
Ah, yes. The farmer and the fallow season. Such a great metaphor. A farmer works incredibly hard during planting and harvest, right? Intense periods.
Absolutely.
But then there's the fallow season. The field lies empty, seems inactive, but beneath the surface, vital things are happening. The soil is recovering, nutrients are replenishing. It's essential for the next harvest's abundance.
So our rest periods, our DRCs, are like that fallow season.
Precisely. It might look like nothing's happening, but that's when the gains from the work season really take root and solidify. It's when the inner harvest happens. Rest isn't laziness. It's a crucial part of the cycle of achievement.
I like that framing. It makes rest feel strategic, not guilty. And you mentioned fun earlier.
Yeah.
He really emphasized that too, didn't he?
Yeah.
That it wasn't just frivolous.
Oh, absolutely. He saw fun and leisure as potent forms of recovery, not wasted time at all, but actually fuel for creativity and productivity. He gave examples, like Einstein sailing.
Right, I remember that.
Aristotle and Dickens were apparently great walkers. Meryl Streep knits. These weren't just escapes. They're activities that allowed their minds to work differently, to decompress, to let ideas incubate.
So stepping away isn't just stopping work. It's letting your subconscious work, maybe.
Yeah.
Giving ideas space to connect.
That's a great way to put it. It fosters that different kind of thinking. And he did get practical, too, offering specific ways to build these DRCs into your life.
Like the 0 device days. That sounds intense. 2 whole days a week.
Yeah, at least 2 full days, ideally consecutive, with 0 devices, a complete digital detox. The idea is to truly disconnect, to let your mind and emotions recover without the constant pings and demands of technology.
Wow, that takes discipline.
It does. And he apparently walks the talk, taking extended, multi-week vacations every quarter. He credited this deep renewal time with giving him his best thinking, his biggest breakthroughs.
Quarterly vacations. Okay, that really underscores the commitment to refueling and makes you think how much we might be missing by staying constantly on. Then he shifted gears a bit, talking about heaven on earth.
Yeah.
That sounds quite philosophical.
It does sound lofty, but the way he explained it, it's less about finding some paradise location and more about cultivating a certain state of being.
A state of being, how so?
It's about achieving that balance where you're successful, hitting your goals, but you're also deeply soulful, deeply fulfilled. You're enjoying the actual magic of being alive day to day.
So it's not just about the destination, the big achievements, but about finding joy and meaning in the journey, in the small things.
Exactly. He linked it to things like appreciating nature, connecting with that sense of childlike wonder we often lose. It's about being present, finding richness beyond just the professional wins. It kind of makes you ask yourself, doesn't it? When was the last time you really let yourself feel that simple awe?
That's a really good question. Probably not recently enough. Okay, and then this led into the 11 maxims he shared.
From that steel box, right? These felt like the core principles behind everything.
It really did. Each one offers a piece of the puzzle for cultivating this balance and achieving that heaven on earth state.
Yeah.
Maxim number 1 was the mirror maxim.
The mirror.
Yeah, it's all about self-awareness, the importance of solitude, of actually taking time to be quiet and reflect. He even quoted Pascal saying something like, most of humanity's problems come from not being able to sit quietly in a room alone.
So the action is to actually schedule time for introspection, to know yourself better.
Pretty much, which ties right back into the deep refueling cycles, doesn't it? Using that time not just for fun, but for inner work too.
It does. Okay, maxim number 2.
That one was about prioritizing miraculous experiences over just collecting more stuff, shifting focus from material possessions to, well, the richness of life experiences, finding that childlike wonder again.
So invest in memories, not just things. Find joy in the simple stuff. Makes sense. Maxim 3. Failure inflates fearlessness.
Yeah.
This one's about reframing failure, seeing it not as the end, but as data, as a learning opportunity that actually builds your courage over time.
So don't be afraid to try things and mess up. Learn from it and get bolder.
Exactly. Embrace the experiments. Maxim 4 got into our inner power.
Right, the primal power one. Thoughts, feelings, words.
Yes. Proper use of your primal power creates your personal utopia. It's about recognizing how much our thoughts, our feelings, the words we use, our actions, how they literally shape our reality. So the takeaway is to be really mindful of your inner dialogue. Choose empowering language. Stop the negative self-talk.
Our inner world creates our outer world.
Got it.
Maxim 5 was about people.
Avoid bad people. Now, he wasn't saying judge people harshly, but more about being intentional with who you spend your time with. Surround yourself with positive, uplifting people. Minimize exposure to negativity, to those who drain you. Your associations matter hugely.
Protect your energy and focus.
Really?
Crucial. Okay, number 6, tackled money.
Money is the fruit of generosity, not scarcity. This challenges that fear-based lack mindset about money. It argues that being generous, focusing on giving value, actually leads to more abundance.
Give to receive, essentially.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah. Got it.
Cultivate abundance thinking. He mentioned 4 practices for this. Positive expectancy, expecting good things. Active faith, believing it's possible. Ever-increasing gratitude, appreciating what you have. And extreme value delivery, really focusing on giving your best. Oh, and he also mentioned overcoming money scars, those old negative beliefs we might carry.
Interesting. Shift from fear to value creation. Okay, maxim 7, back to basics.
Very much so. Optimal health maximizes your power to produce magic. Basically, your health, physical and mental, is foundational. It directly impacts your energy, your creativity, your ability to do anything well. You have to prioritize it.
Can't build a skyscraper on shaky ground. Makes sense. Number 8 was about pushing higher.
Yeah. Continue raising your life standards toward absolute world class. This tackles something called hedonic adaptation. You know, how we get used to good things and they stop feeling special.
Right, the novelty wears off.
Yeah, so the idea is to actively counteract that. Keep striving for better, keep improving. Invest in quality in your environment, experiences, learning. Don't just settle.
Resist complacency. Keep growing. Okay, number 9 felt important for well-being too.
Deeply important. Deep love yields unconquerable joy. This is about the power of connection, of expressing love and kindness, nurturing your relationships, giving and receiving compassion freely.
Connection is a source of strength and joy, absolutely. Number 10 seemed to pull things together.
It did, the magic of a well-spent day. This maxim kind of integrates everything. To experience that daily heaven on earth, you need to intentionally cultivate your mindset, how you think, your heart set, how you feel, compassion, your health set, your physical well-being, and your soul set. Your inner peace, your spirit.
Mindset, heart set, health set, soul set. Wow.
Yeah. And he said the foundation for all of it is self-love. You have to nurture all these parts of yourself intentionally every day.
It's about living consciously day by day. Okay, and the final one, number 11, that one had a bit of a jolt to it. The miniature coffin image.
Definitely memorable. Tomorrow is a bonus, not a right. A stark reminder that life is finite, time is precious. Don't put off your dreams. Don't wait to live fully. Pursue your potential now. Appreciate today.
Wow. That's a call to action, for sure.
Yeah.
Live with urgency, but maybe not franticness. Balance risk with common sense. He mentioned that too.
Exactly. It's about intentionality.
Yeah.
So when you look at it all together, it really does come back to that core idea, doesn't it? The twin cycles.
Yeah. This constant dynamic dance between intense focused work and deep active renewal, HEC and DRC.
It's a blueprint for a different way to achieve. One that values sustainability, well-being, and, well, actually enjoying the ride, not just racing to the finish line. Growth happens in the recovery.
It's such a paradigm shift from the hustle harder culture. Rest isn't weakness, it's strategic, it's essential. So for you listening, maybe the starting point is just awareness. Start noticing your own energy patterns. When are your natural HECs? When do you desperately need a DRC?
That's a great place to begin. Just observe.
Yeah.
And maybe reflecting on those 11 maxims, which one really lands for you right now? Which one feels like the area you need to focus on?
And what's one small thing, just one tiny step you could take today, inspired by that maxim, inspired by this whole conversation to move towards that more balanced, more fulfilling life, remembering that tomorrow really is a bonus? What can you do now?